Hello and namaste, Hariharan Iyer, the entertainer, and I welcome you back once again to my YouTube channel on this very auspicious day of Krishna Janmashtami. And I have been a great fan of Krishna and his Leela, as they call it, and his play. I have been reading a lot about Krishna over the last so many years. So I just thought I'll share a little nugget with you about what is the greatest management lesson I have learned from Lord Krishna. Though we call him a Lord, he's actually like a very dear friend who lives in the neighborhood. That's the kind of charm and charisma that we have all grown up knowing about Krishna and listening to his stories. You look at the Lord himself, the avatar of Lord Vishnu, one of the most celebrated avatars of Lord Vishnu is Krishna. And you look at his life, and it was full of challenges. He was born in a jail, and then he lived in this world for over 100 years, and he went through various challenges. And yet, you find that Krishna never complained. He never blamed anybody for any of his problems. He had so many enemies. He had to handle his own uncle Kamsa. Then he had to be part of the Kurukshetra war, and he went through so many issues in his life. And just imagine, I mean, a child is born in a jail, and then from there on, life moves on, and then he has to develop himself and lead life like a normal human being, though he was the Lord himself. But throughout the story of Krishna, the life of Krishna, we see that he never blamed anybody for any of his problems. He never complained about anything. He just took responsibility for his life, and he went about his business of life in the most righteous manner, and he lived life with a great sense of purpose. I think that is what we need to do in our life. We need to take responsibility for our lives, and we should never blame anybody for our problems. Now, what we need to understand in life is that we are not responsible for all the problems that happen to us. We don't create all the problems. But sometimes we are faced with problems which we have not created, but it has entered our lives. And even then, we cannot just go about blaming people and pitying ourselves. We still got to take responsibility for those problems. And that's what we learn from the life of Krishna. Whatever problems were thrown at him, he took them head on, and he used all the powers in his control, and he tried to overcome them and do everything in a righteous manner and establish dharma in this world. So from a very basic perspective, we can say that we need to learn not to blame people for our life issues. We have to take responsibility for our lives. There are many more amazing learnings. I would like to talk about it later from the life of Krishna. But if I were to just quickly touch upon them, he never discriminated between caste, the poor or the rich. So that's why Sudama was his best friend, who was a very poor Brahmin. And he always did what was right and not what was convenient. He always did what was right and what was not convenient. So, and he was a great servant leader. He served his people, and I think that merits a different video altogether. I'll come back on that a little later. But for the moment, here's the greatest life lesson from the life of Krishna, management lesson from the life of Krishna. Let's not blame anybody, and let's take total responsibility for our lives. Hope you enjoyed this little learning nugget, and I do request you to please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you have not already done. And yes, best wishes on Krishna Janmashtami. God bless you. Do take good care of yourself, and I'll be back very soon with one more learning nugget. Thank you very much.